Hello students, I am your science tutor Devashish and today's topic is gravitation. So what is gravitation? Gravitation is actually a force, a push or a pull as we call it in physics. For example, if I release this pen, it is falling only downwards. Why it is not going upwards? This is because of this invisible force called gravity. Due to this force only, the earth pulls all objects towards itself. And it is because of this force only that the moon, which is a celestial body as all of you know, is getting pulled towards earth, and the earth in turn gets pulled towards the bigger celestial body, that is our sun. So which force is acting here? It is gravity. Now what all parameters does this force gravity require? This gravity requires mass. Two bodies that have mass, gravity will act on those bodies. For example, let us say this block A and this block is B. This block has mass m1 and the block B has mass m2. Now, which force will act here? Consider this force F is equal to 1 Newton, equal, that is the block A is attracting block B towards itself with a force F is equal to 1 Newton. So, what I mean to say here is F, this force, is directly proportional to the product of masses of the bodies. Okay, force is directly proportional to the product of masses. So F is directly proportional to the product of masses. Now let us say, to prove this principle, I have an example for you. Let us say this block A has mass m1 and block B has mass m2. So force will be acting upon each of the boxes. And consider this force is equivalent, F1 is equal to F2 is equal to 1 Newton. Now what happens is F1 is equal to F2 is directly proportional to the product of masses of the body. That is what we have learned earlier. Okay. Now what we will do is we will increase the masses. Consider now the same block A has doubled its mass. Okay. So now the mass of block A is 2m1 and the mass of block B is, now we are tracing the mass of block B, that is it is 3m1, 3m2. So what will be the resultant force that will be acting? 2m1 into 3m2, that is equal to 6m1 m2. So is it clear to you all? Now the second principle is what? This force is not only directly proportional to the product of masses, but it is also dependent on the distance between the bodies. Okay. How it is dependent? So this force is inversely proportional this time to the square of the distance between the bodies. Okay, so force is inversely proportional to the square of distance between the bodies. So let us say this again, this block A and block B, and now we will take distance as the parameter. Okay, so now our parameter is distance between the bodies. So let us say the distance between the bodies is r. Okay, distance between two bodies is r. So according to this principle, F this time is proportional to 1 by r square. So now let us again do some maths with this parameter, that is the distance. Okay, what we'll do is we will increase the distance. Now let us say again the same blocks, but what we are going to do here is the distance is double this time, that is 2r. So what effect will this have on the force? That is, so now students, as we know that force is inversely proportional to the distance square. So consider the same two blocks, block A and block B. Earlier the distance was r. Now the distance has been doubled, that is it is 2r. So what effect will this change of parameter have on the force? That is, this time force is equal to 1 by 2r whole square, because we know that force is inversely proportional to the distance square. This implies force is 1 by 4r square. So earlier the force was F is equal to 1 by r square. This time, that is currently, the force is F is equal to 1 by 4, 1 by r square. That is, the force has reduced this time, that is, it has become F by 4. So our first relation was F is directly proportional to the product of masses m1 into m2, and our second relation is F is inversely proportional to the distance square. Okay, so combining these two relationships, we will get another relation, that is the bigger relation, which is F is proportional to m1 into m2 by d square. Now to convert this relation of proportionality into an equation, what we will do is we will introduce a proportionality constant, that is f is equal to g m1 into m2 by d square. Now you guys must be wondering what is this g. This g is a universal constant, a gravitational force constant, okay, and it has the properties that it will never change, it is universal and it is a constant, okay. So what is the value of this g? The value is g is equal to 6.67 into 10 to the power minus 11. This is the value of g. You must note down this. G is equal to 6.67 into 10 to the power minus 11. So we got this equation of force F is equal to G m1 m2 by d square, where G is a universal constant. So students, this was a brief introduction about the chapter. I hope you all understood the concepts and you all are satisfied. Thank you.